too much concentrating and focusing on COVID when we're supposed to look on the brighter side. Koko Mbele, you look wonderful, by the way. Like a real African princess. Koko Mbele otlhaga from our traditional healers stream, sa rona ka kwano mo Nerve Center. Re tlo bua ka few things, you know, the indigenous language, how important are they, tsa rona tsa ma Africa, re celebrate yana, touch a little bit le go lebella Africa ya rona. And ka ngwe re simole just there. Some people are asking a question, is there anything really worth celebrating in Africa? Gore wa lebella ke dintwa, ke tlala, ke malwetse. What are we celebrating? Corruption ya di leaders, or is there a brighter side? E re sa e boneng rona ba bangwe ba ba tshwereng ke ditlala ba ba sokola mo African continent. Motho a ka botsa potso ntse ya lokoko. Yeah, gore we are disappointed ka di leaders tsa rona. Lebella ga la ga re tswa mo tshwentse be re tshutsa di baking bowl many years after freedom ya rona. Yeah, the continent. Anything to celebrate, Gogo?
Okay, for me, Thokozani kubalaleli bonke, and it's a day that I pride myself as an African daughter, and a daughter of the soil, and the daughter of the gods and goddesses of Africa. And as I would say, there is. If you say, is there anything that you should celebrate as an African or as in Africa? You have to celebrate to be home. That's the first thing. You have to celebrate to be yourself. I am myself. I'm out of bondage. We are free at last. That's a freedom that we celebrate. And celebrate to be an African, to be in the continent, where I'm not called outside, something that I am not. But I am home now. And if this is home and lehaye lile la hlopheha, we have to go back to what has happened to us. Because you can't look at here now without going back. That has put us to be where we are. Because what has forced us to be here as Africans is it's not our doing. It was imposed to us, you know. So we need to celebrate, one, the freedom and our identity. If you could raise up and raise yourself upahame and say, I take charge as an African, then you need to understand who you are. And in moving from understanding who you are, it's very critical as a being, as someone, to identify yourself. Because you talk about silencing the guns and so forth. It's when we have lost Africa, because the Berlin Conference, 1884, it was the death of Africa. When they were cutting it the way they chopped it in 54 states. It was killing Africa completely. It was killing our language, killing our practices, killing our culture, killing our tradition. So what we celebrate, it's coming back as Africans. Unfortunately, South Africa, or fortunately, is the last born to be free, which you are joining the continent now after 25 years. But as a family, all of us as Africans, we need to sit down, because the making was not ours. If one would ask you to say, if what I'm celebrating the knowledge of knowing that I can stand up and say, Mbele, and be able to talk. And we talk our own, it means my history. Because it takes back where my ancestors are coming from. It eliminates the issues of xenophobia, which is, we don't have such words in Africa. There is no word called xenophobia in any language of our own. It's a language that came in the land, you know. But if we miss to understand yourself, to say, if ukhuluma ngombele, ukhuluma ngabantu bakaMpisi, and if you go to Zimbabwe, Mozambique, going up Africa, you'll tell you that animal cut across in all of us. You know, it's what we need to celebrate, and what we need to do is to find a common goal that makes us as Africans in all of us.
To harp on this, yes, it was this political freedom we got, but it was saying on an empty stomach. And is there hope, and are they happy with what we're going through? And the celebrations maybe that sense of Africanity.
Well, unfortunately, we have to wait for the 25 to talk, which is not supposed to. We should be talking every day about ourselves. One, we should be talking about the element of healing ourselves first, because healing ourselves, we are healing the ancestors themselves. Okay. You're healing what has happened to us. You're healing what has the land lost, because if you are dispossessed, it's our ancestors that were dispossessed. We inherited the dispossession, in everything that you will think, our language, our minerals, everything. You try to do something, someone takes it, package it and sell it, it's out of your hand. When you want to come and use it, it's primitive. It can only be effective if someone from somewhere will come and research it, research what you have used for all this time in the continent that was never harmful to you, whether it's our food, whether it's our plants, whether it's our minerals, and it gets to be taken out and come back and sold back to you. Our ancestors at a very high price. Ancestors can never be happy until us as children of Africa, we pronounce this to say we are free. What does freedom means? Means I can manage my own space now. Means we can sit down and come up with strategies and so forth and so forth. An African person is not a lazy person as people see or deem us to be. Is a creative person. Is a very skillful person in any way. Because even if you go to any shelf, you would look at the identity of indigenous knowledge system. But that indigenous knowledge system, it's not in the same hands of the indigenous holders. Let me make you an example. Yes. Someone goes to a university, and that person goes to study medicine, like lingana or any plants that you may choose, alu. Now, they would send that person to say, go to Mkulu or go to Gogo on the ground and sit with Gogo, and Gogo will tell you what this plant is all about, where the soil is, and when is it appearing, how it's getting to be used, how it's getting to be packaged, dosages and everything, okay? And that child will write the thesis about all what Gogo Omkulu has told that person. That will be taken back to the university, and the child gets a PhD. Is the child really qualifying for that PhD? Isn't it that Gogo qualifies for the PhD? There we go. If they would be able to qualify that one, why the indigenous holder was never qualified? Okay, let's look at Moto Mabele, Usila Mabele. Okay, that knowledge is our knowledge, but it is packaged now as Moto in the shops, or it is packaged as Maheu. It's packaged in many ways. But the indigenous holder is no longer having a space to claim that because it has been patented by someone else. That is economical rights that we do not have. Buaka Chotlo, you talk about mismet. We no longer have those. That is what Badimo Nabarasieti for the knowledge to have. You talk about the songs, you talk about our dances, our attires, our language itself. Our language, it's money. We have to put value in everything that we do. We're not appreciating who we are as Africans. If you could start appreciating and acknowledging yourself to say, Kindate na, and I'm coming from these people, identify them. Your ancestors were never poor. No African was poor. Neither did we have any orphan in any way, because it took a village to raise this child.
So true.
Language is your identity. Okay? It's your identity. How you ema skahona no bua Setswana. I'm speaking Luena Setswana or Setswana and half Sotho, but I'm not a Setswana or half Sotho. I'm a Hlubi. And language it's Tekela. It's a language that was destroyed by Britain at the time. That was taken away. And we're forced to adapt into other languages. Meaning, if you take my identity, you are eroding my existence. Language, it's an opener of many things for you. Language, it carries your history, it carries your culture, it carries your spirituality. If your pride, if you are unable for you to shape me to look at Setswana as a pride of what Tswanas have, it's something else. It's language, it's your what you dress, It's how you move. When you ka hara batho wa itsa ke fitla ke le Motswana tota ke tlo fitla ke reng whether ke Mohurutsi whether ke Mwatu or ke eng but ke Motswana. And how I hold myself, I'm giving this village that I'm going with, because you've got a village that is unseen, that is always present in you, and we are representing them. Language is your right. It is your human right. It is your human dignity. It is who you are. When we came back, coming back, I'm saying 1994, we had to re-give birth to the languages. As a disclaimer, I'm a commissioner from the CRA Rights Commission, which seeks to promote and protect the right of culture, cultural rights, religious and linguistic, which is language, of communities.
Yes.
Like Nama, Silubedu, Mpondo, Sihlubi, and many others as well, you know. And now, as a commission, including sign language, then this is what our work that is to. We've already put Nama and the sign language. So we are moving from 11 to 13 at the moment. So slowly, you know, we are upscaling these languages in recognition, but working together with PenSTEP, because PenSTEP has to develop these languages. The government has to put budget forth, you know, resources of developing these languages. You have people that are speaking their languages. Like, as I said, I speak Hlubi. You've got Amampondo speaking their Mpondo. You've got Isikilobedu speaking their Kilobedu. The unfortunate part is that when you go to school, you have to leave my language at home and adapt into this language that has been taught. But when I go back home, I have to wear the language of my people. You know, so I'm cutting across these two languages. You know, in many of us that have their languages are not yet developed to this state. You know, we're speaking more languages because we're trying to fit in other languages, meaning our identity is not coming up, you know, in that space. But there is willingness. I would not say government is not willing in developing language. As I say that we've managed to put Namai on the table, we've managed to put sign language, then we are bringing other languages. Isihluba, I know it's on the way, and Isimpondo is Kilubedu. Those three, I know that they are already there now in the discussion. Being humbled enough, an African person is a humble person, but it's not now.
So practically speaking then, and then what do we do? I mean, we have done this, and I'm glad you are in one of these commissions and you deal with government at that level. We still say we must learn English because many are saying that that's a business language and you're part of the global village. You need it. And then you have to learn your own language while you come with it from home. And then on top of it, there must be Swahili. And then are we not language bombarded and be concerned instead of just say, let's just have one language that's going to embrace maybe the continent and teach our children that. And we are not going to have resources that we are going to have to throw money at each and every little language. You know, mother tongue language, and let's get on with the business. So Africa is behind, and talk the language ya business then we can just embrace Swahili and the rest the language. Don't expect government to do that. How do you respond to such an argument?
No one has ever said English is the business language. Business, it's a trade. Now I can speak in English and define it because that's how it has been made. But who have said your language is not a business language? Isn't it or Maggot using their African languages? If AU, WHO, UNESCO feels that it is proper that our children has to be taught, you know, and develop their mother tongue, even if you would want them to go outside and go into business and discuss business deal, you can't discuss no muntu that speaks language. You have already, I don't know how to, not destroyed, but I'm already would not be able to, you know, to discuss the terms that are in English. You know, there's a time where you feel good, now I can express myself. English balegile, but I'm better positioned if I could speak in isiZulu. If you can bring mathematics here in isiZulu and bring physics in isiZulu, you know, and give another person that's the English speaking, same English, isiZulu and Utmagaipale, they won't be able to do that. We should be proud. We should be proud as Africans. We should stand up to say it is now not yesterday, that are language, are business language. If we say in Africa we go for isiSwahili as a language of Africa, of unification, of pride as Africans, let be. Let's not go beat about it. Let's put resources onto it. Already South Africa has said, Minister Angie Motshekga has said, we are putting Swahili because we are Africans. I can't change myself being something else. I am an African and I will remain as an African. But I have my mother tongue that is a priority. That when I rise up and I say Mbele, umphembo muhle ophemba ngamabele ugodidi indlela kaSompisi ibhele lihlela selenge lidla ligoduke lingakhanywa ithambo lasemzini. I'm telling you about me now and I'm saying ngize kuwe ngiyazithoba mkhulu. But indlela enhle noma ubuhle bomuntu bubonakala kwabanye. I'm honoring you. It is a language that does that. In that language then I will respond with my physics, with my physical self and pride in you.
Mama Mbele, that's why we love it here on COVID-19 Front Radio. And there we were. And happy Africa Day and Africa Month. We hope to be talking to you soon.
Usuku oluhle siyalihalalisela. Sithembe ukuthi ngesinye isikhathi nizolivula lube lude. Kungabi ukuthi usuku olwenza kanje namhlanje kuphela. Ha re le ka matsatsi a mang re khona ho tswela pele re bua ka rona re ireta re khona ho ba batho. I can speak many languages. I'm an African.
It's an African woman.